Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're finally getting in our ownership review of the $10,000 Tesla Model S, this used one we picked up about 2 months ago. So we'll do like a walk around here, show you the car again, and then we'll go for a little POV drive and discuss my thoughts on the $10,000 Tesla. Alright guys, so here it is, Tesla Model S. If you guys haven't watched the previous videos on this, it is a 2015 Model S 85D, so it is the dual motor. Doesn't have the air ride suspension, so standard suspension on this. But the reason we did drive about 250 miles up to Minnesota to purchase this was the unlimited free supercharging, along with being a one owner car, and it was a great deal. So we picked this thing up for $14,700, and then we got the $4,000 used EV tax credit, so brought it down to $10,700. And then here just recently I ended up selling the third row jump seats. I had a video about that as well. We removed those and sold those on eBay. But the car, you know, for 149,000 miles, it had quite a few scratches and dings, to be expected. Wheels have a little bit of curb rash, but this was going to be a daily driver for my son to replace his Honda Accord. So we weren't too worried about some minor scratches and scuffs here and there. Show you the interior here, guys. It's almost Halloween time, so Bones is in the back seat here sporting his Tesla hat. Tons of room in these Model S's, so definitely roomy. Bones is 5 foot tall, and that seat position is where it should be for my 6'3" body. So as you can see, quite a bit of room back there. No problem for a 6 foot person with leg room. The interior up front surprisingly has wore very nicely here. For 149,000 miles, almost 10 years old. Got a little wear here on the bolsters, but not bad. And we've got all the gauge clusters in here, which is nice for the Model S to have the traditional cluster with the speedo and everything up there versus the newer Model 3s and Ys. It's all over here. We'll just show you some of the stuff here in the settings. Charging, as you can see, unlimited supercharging. We haven't paid anything on this yet. We've put about 2,000 miles on this so far, and it's been free of charge. So this is the 85D, 150,273 miles. It was 148 and some change when we got it. This does have the autopilot 1.0 computer, so it does do the autopilot on the highway, which is an included package, which is nice. So this one will actually do lane changes and everything without any extra packages. And then it also came with the premium connectivity package for life, so I don't have to pay for that. So this thing is decked out with all the goods from back in 2015. This is a upgraded system here that has the theater option. So that came included, which is nice because that's an extra couple grand to get that option in some of these older Teslas. So we have the updated infotainment in here. As you can see, I think whenever it got installed, they may have had some issues because there's a lot of dings and dents right here. So I'm guessing that came about when they had to tear this apart to put in that new infotainment. And then these older Model S's do still have the power sunroof that opens. Try not to open it too much, I don't want to cause leaks. But it does work. Show you the storage compartments here. As you can see, lots of space in here with the hatchback. We have this looking here, that's where that third row jump seat was that we removed. I may need to look into getting the cover because we didn't get the cover to make this flat because the jump seats didn't allow that. because they kind of folded down into that cubby. But yeah, tons of room in the back. And we will go take a look at the front space. So a decent amount of space up here in the front. The non-dual motor S's, the older ones, had a lot more space underneath there. I'd go back in here a little deeper, but there's a lot of usable space up here. You can get a couple big bags in here and do some light grocery shopping if you just want to throw some quick stuff up front. All right, guys, we're going to hop in here and go for a POV drive, and we'll discuss my thoughts on this used Model S. And then we're going to do a 0 to 60 run, see how it fares after 150,000 miles on the clock. All right, guys, POV drive here in the 2015 Model S 85D. So far over the 2 months that we've had this, I mean, it's been a very good running car. If you saw my video from about 2 or 3 weeks back, we did have our first issue with it. The suspension, the lower control arm broke, and I did have to replace that, so I'll have a link in the description if you guys are interested in seeing what's all involved in that. We did the repair in the driveway. But other than that, that's just regular car stuff that can break on any kind of car. So you're still gonna have your brakes, tires, you know, bearings, that sort of thing that can wear out on any car. But no issues with the battery or electric motor so far, knock on wood. We don't encounter any of that because this thing definitely does not have a warranty. Some things to be aware of if you're in the market for an older Model S compared to looking at a newer Model 3. They still have good technology in these things, but there's some things that are different, like the one pedal driving. You don't get true one pedal driving with these. It does have decent amount of regen braking, but it's not like the Model 3s and Ys and the newer cars. Even the new Model S's have it where you can do pretty much full one pedal driving. You don't have to use the brakes that often. But on this, you still use the brake a decent amount, coming to a complete stop. The other thing that if you've had a newer Tesla and are going backwards like I did, was used to the phone as a key option, and you don't get that with these older Model S's. They still use a regular key fob, so just be aware that you'll not have the phone as a key option in the older cars. But it is still an electric car with lots of torque, guys. It's freaking fast still. And this is actually the slow one. It's not the P85D, just the 85D. But we definitely wanted to get the 85D, the dual motor, because of the winters we have here in the Midwest, so it'll be a little better in the snow and ice, better traction. I do have the Model 3 rear-wheel drive, and it can do okay in the snow with the regular all-season tires, but I had a video about that last year. Took it out for a drive and some of the hills around town, it just couldn't handle it. So you at least need to throw some winter snow tires on the rear-wheel drive models and they can do okay. But all-wheel drive, I think will be all right with the all seasons. We'll see how this does in the winter. So when the 85D was new, they claimed the range was 270 miles at 100% charge. So right now, if we 100% charge this with 150,000 miles on it, it says the range is 248 miles. So you can do the math on that to figure out what the degradation is on that over 9.5 years and that many miles, which I think is actually 248. It's pretty acceptable. Let's give it some gas again. They claim this can do 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds with the 85D, which that's the same as my old Model Y dual motor. I didn't have the Model Y Performance, I just had the dual motor regular one, and it was 4.7 0 to 60. So 4.7, that's definitely quick enough for an everyday driver. And it feels quicker than that just because of the instant torque. But if you really want to go all out, that was the P85Ds are closer to about 3 seconds, 0 to 60. So if you could find one of those. But yeah, the main things that drew us to this older Model S was that number one, tax rebate. Number two was the unlimited free supercharging that this had. So we're just gonna have to keep charging, and maybe eventually it'll pay for itself. We'll see how long that takes. We'll do the math by the 40 cents average kilowatt per hour at Tesla superchargers. So the other thing that I will tell you guys to be aware of buying these older Model S's is the charge speeds, especially if you're gonna charge it if you're gonna be charging this thing at a supercharger all the time. It takes so long to charge these older Model S's. Like the fastest speed that I got charging typically is about 90 kilowatts, and like my LFP Model 3 maxes out at 150, so I can get up to 150 kW on that car, and it stays, you know, from about 10% up to 60 to 70%. It'll stay up there at the high kilowatt charging speed. But this one, it gets maybe up to 90, and it only does that for like 20 or 30% if you're lucky. So if you're going to charge this thing up to 80% at a supercharger on the regular, get ready to spend about an hour charging. The older ones just don't have the fast charging speeds. And then like the newer non-LFP stuff, you know, can get up to the 250 kilowatt hour charge speeds. And that, I can't imagine how fast that'd be. I haven't experienced that yet, but I'm assuming those are some super quick charges, especially when you only need to get like 10-20% to continue on your trip. So that was one big thing I wasn't really aware of, how slow the charging speeds would be at a supercharger. And if you're charging only at home, let it charge overnight, you're going to be fine. You still get that overnight charge. But since this has the free supercharging, I'm always charging at the superchargers, and it does take a little extra time. We're gonna do our 0 to 60 run here. Let's see what numbers we got. 0 to 60 in 4.67 seconds, guys. So I would say that's still pretty darn good for 149,000 or 150,000 miles. Alright guys, I'll get on the highway here for you for a bit and show you the autopilot on these older models. It's on the left side, there's a stock to do it, versus the newer stuff, it's all on the left side up here. But we'll do hit it twice here. There's once for the regular cruise control. There we go. So we've got the autopilot engaged, and as you can see there, it will do the same thing and nag at you about keeping your hands on the steering wheel. You can get away with it for close to a minute before it nags at you. Alright guys, that's gonna about do it for this review video of the $10,000 used Tesla Model S 85D. If you guys are in the market for one, it's definitely a great commuter car, in-town car, you know, up to a couple hundred miles. If you're gonna do a lot of supercharging, you may want to look at something a little newer that can charge a little faster, like a used Model 3. But yeah, so far we're really enjoying the car and all the technology and full autopilot we got going on here. You really can't go wrong for $10,000, even if you got to take the gamble with the option of potentially having to replace an expensive battery. So thanks for tuning in again, guys. We'll have some more videos coming up here of the latest purchase, our Lincoln Aviator that we got here a couple weeks back. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.